The information reporting that Amazon now is building AI tools for merchants to generate photos and videos in ad campaigns. Our Deirdre Bosa has more on today's Tech Check. Hey, Dee.
Hey, Carl. So that story, there's a winner and there's a loser as well. And more, we've been talking about the downside stock impact of the AI boom, which investors are increasingly trying to price into companies that could be left behind. Today, Goldman writes in a note, the market is now entering the prove you won't be disrupted stage versus the last few months when investors were really focusing on the companies that were given an AI halo effect. Increasingly in the conversations I'm having with investors here in the Bay Area, there is this idea that big tech likely wins again. That dynamic may be playing out between Amazon's advertising unit, which has the scale and the capital to take full advantage of generative AI, and the smaller ad agencies that don't have that. The information reports that Amazon is working on AI tools to generate photos and videos that could help it push more ad formats to smaller sellers, disintermediating agencies like Omnicom, WPP, Publicis. Following that report, Bernstein writes in a note this morning, how high on the AI roadkill list should the ad agencies be? And yes, that is an actual list that is being put together at Bernstein, and there are similar ones being compiled at other Wall Street firms. We talked about Chegg last week, guys, the first public company to blame AI, ChatGPT, for a major guide down. That led to questions about generative AI's impact on all of EdTech. Now we're considering all of advertising, and it's only Monday, just a few days. We have Google I/O, and that is the big annual developer conference. This year, the stakes could not be higher given the rivalry with Microsoft and ChatGPT. So we will get a lot more on that front, potentially more AI halos or winners, and potentially more roadkill candidates.
I'm so glad you did this story today, Deirdre, because I've also been hearing that a lot of these hedge funds now have AI shortlists, right? Those who get disrupted, and that Chegg was a proof point of what could happen there. So advertising, you mentioned, any other industries or names people are talking about?
I mean, the ad agency is such a good one, right? Because it's kind of a middleman. And there is this thought that generative AI could just totally displace that middleman. And it goes back to copywriting as well. Any kind of company like a Grammarly or others in the public market. There was a Duolingo that was questioned last week that helps you learn things or write things better. Generative AI can do that. And a short list, a nicer way of putting a roadkill list. But I mean, we're starting to learn, guys, that entire business models could be eviscerated by this thing.